Well, a heads up, if you live in New Orleans and want to seek shelter out of the city, local leaders are offering free rides to shelters in other parts of the state. Now, those rides started yesterday and they will continue today, leaving from the Morial Convention Center. WDSU's Harrison Golden has details.
Well, some 600 passengers boarded that first fleet Saturday. In all, some 13 coaches, 20 vans. Destination? Anywhere but here. What has the past week been like for you?
Hell. Yeah.
Arthur Edwards says he's spent too many days in the dark and too many nights going hungry.
I'm a diabetic and, I gotta eat food and I ain't got nothing in my house.
So he came to the Morial Convention Center and waited on a bus bound for one of several state-run shelters.
I could get food. That's what I'm hoping for.
Most of the shelters are in North and Central Louisiana. Mayor LaToya Cantrell says people will get to stay there until their power returns.
These are the folks that really do need now to be provided the transportation to get into better conditions.
We don't know what we're going to do. We're just on a ride.
We met Rose Hubbard waiting for a bus. Ida left the Bywater home where she was staying with a broken roof. And this longtime New Orleanian says she may never return.
We need help.
Do you plan to come back to New Orleans?
I don't know. To come back to get whatever I have to get, yeah. But to say no. I'm tired of going through the same thing. This every year.
Though she knows one thing.
If I can live here in New Orleans, I can live anywhere.
Now the city will offer those buses again here today at the Morial Convention Center from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's worth note here, if you know somebody at a state-run shelter right now and you want to touch base with them, the state's Department of Children and Family Services has a number you can call. That number right now, 225-342-2727. I'm going to read that one more time for you. 225-342-2727. At the Morial Convention Center, Harrison Golden reporting. Back to you.
We're all family. We joke and say that we're related to everybody here. We really are.
Meet Angel Hahn and Monica Hazen, their daughter and mother, best friends, and their neighbors.
And when I looked down at my feet, everything was cut up and bloody. I called my mama, and I said, my house is gone, and she said, so is mine.
I'm still in shock myself. I'm just trying to absorb it all.
I saw the walls leave. I saw the roof leave.
A lot of things have left their Arabi homes, but as Wednesday's daylight fueled the first step of cleanup, they haven't left one another.
I have some awesome friends and family. This is a great community. St. Bernard Parish is a great community.
And check this out. One of the lone items still hanging on Angel's mother's wall, an angel.
All in all, we got our life. You know what I mean? The Lord was with us. We got our life. All that can be replaced. You know?
People say we're lucky. I'd rather say we're blessed because I probably shouldn't be standing here today talking to you. Basically.
Mike Bayamonte has been praying a lot over the past 24 hours from the moment the tornado hit.
For me, people have been asking all day how long was it. It was simple for me. It was 4 Hail Marys.
But yeah, that was one of the scariest things I've ever been a part of.
Mike's son Chase has been getting by thanks to friends. They came by to see how he was doing and found one of his missing shoes along the way.
I think it's awesome because it's not just like us trying to come back, it's the whole community trying to come back. So I think that helps a lot for everybody.
And tomorrow, something else will come back in Arabi. Skies blue enough to keep the cleanup going.
I think it's the blessing side of it. We're going to bless you with a day where you can get your things in order, get your family in order. Realize, the old cliche, the sun will come up tomorrow.
You feeling well? Yeah, and well. You feel well.
When I spoke with 10-year-old Fabian Rivera, he was still wearing his hospital wristband, a reminder of where he was when the clock struck midnight, 2022.
He almost died.
Fabian and his cousin Diana say the scary moments began at around 10 p.m. Friday. Fabian was riding his swing, admiring fireworks in the distance. But what fell from the sky and hit his face was no firework.
First they come here, and they exit out here.
Then he just came crying all over with blood. So we got scared.
It was a bullet. Fabian's family suspects somebody fired shots into the air near their home to celebrate New Year's Eve.
It felt so bad that they shoot because it almost took his life.
And Fabian isn't the only New Orleans juvenile shot lately. Police say another was shot Saturday near Decatur and Spain streets, and last Sunday night in Algiers, 9-year-old Dylan Burton died after being shot in the back seat of her mother's car.
I feel like people should be scared first, and because it can happen to another people, and people can die from that.
And the soft-spoken Fabian says misusing guns, whatever the context, is a problem worth speaking about.
I want the people to know that we have to be careful to not shoot the weapons up and shoot, because the weapon could fall down and then that thing will kill someone.
It's a very important message.
Yeah.
This is what love looks like, man. It's not about heat or cold. This is what love looks like.
Congo Square's drummers showing love the best way they know how for one of their own. Portia Pollock died Tuesday. She was leaving her 7th Ward home when she was stabbed in a carjacking. Her death has prompted calls for justice, but also calls to celebrate her life. Harrison Golden's live in Congo Square with how Pollock's fellow musicians came together in her honor. Harrison?
Well, Sherman, Portia Pollock could turn a washing machine into a drum set. After Hurricane Katrina, she turned a house without floors and without running water into a home. And tonight, the people she loved turned heartache into music.
I feel like we are celebrating her existence all those years, and love wins. Life wins.
Every Sunday for 33 years, the weekly drum circle in Congo Square was Portia Pollock's life.
She was like one of those quiet, moving people that turned lives around.
So on this first Sunday, without the woman they called Mama Portia, more than 100 drummers and dancers braved tears and sweat to keep the beat alive.
Yes, it knocked us off our feet almost. We don't give up.
I think she'd be shocked to see so many people came out in support of her. But she deserves it.
Fatima Muse is Pollock's niece.
I feel so repetitive by saying she was a good person because that word isn't big enough. Because she was so much more.
A sister for me and so many, at least 50 drummers out here. We just loved her. We love her so much.
Luther Gray has known Pollock since her first drum circle in 1988.
We learned from her how to see the gifts of a person in a way that's very subtle.
I learned how a smile matters.
And Pollock's family sees another lesson, a call to make the city she loved a little safer.
I'd rather have her here. I'd rather have her here more than anything in the world. But if Portia has to be the spark for change, we'll take it.
Now on Friday, police arrested Brian Andre and charged him with second-degree murder for Pollock's death. Now, court records show he has an arrest record dating back to 1991 and past convictions for drug possession, illegally carrying a weapon, and aggravated burglary. Now, as for Pollock, her funeral will be at 1 p.m. Saturday. That will be at Rhodes Funeral Home on Washington Avenue. But for now, reporting live at Congo Square, Harrison Golden, WDSU News. Simply put, Gina, they say it has been far too long without mail, at least a week. Many of these people have gone in Lakeview alone without letters, mail of any kind delivered their way from the United States Postal Service. So on camera, off camera, and all on social media today, all day long, people we've met have been asking the very same question. Where have all the carriers gone?
I don't know, maybe it'll get here one day.
Ashley Corte celebrated her birthday this past weekend without her grandmother's gift.
And my grandmother mailed my birthday check, and she keeps asking me, did you get your check? Did you get your check? And I'm like, no, I haven't gotten my check. I don't know where it is. So.
And that's not all.
I get medication through the VA via mails.
No check, no medication, nothing for quite some time.
It's about 2 weeks we haven't received any postal mail at all.
As of Thursday, it'll be 2 weeks, and we haven't seen a letter carrier on the block. Maybe Wednesday of last week.
And Wednesday of last week is the last time you got mail.
Right.
We found Louis Beninado driving from his Louis XIV Street home to the post office. He had mail to deliver.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's delivered on time.
And he thought waiting on a carrier to pick it up would take too long.
We've gotten the sorry we missed you notices with the packages. When I know I'm home, I know the dogs would go off if anybody walked on the porch. If it's not going to be delivered to us, where can we go to get it?
Over on Memphis Street, Nick Lagatuda has been looking for answers.
They gave me 800 numbers to call. All were totally fruitless. Nothing happened.
But is only left with more questions.
We don't know why. We don't know if it's a COVID issue or what.
Are we going to get mail next week, or is it going to be like, is this a problem that's going to be ongoing?
If everybody would call and complain, maybe we can get the post office to tell us at least where we can pick up our mail.
So Corte says she has enough medication for a little while. Meanwhile, as for her check, she says her grandmother is considering canceling that check and handing her a brand new one for her big birthday. Now, as far as comments go, we heard shortly ago, late this afternoon, from the United States Postal Service, a Postal Service spokesman emailing us this statement shortly ago. Here's what it reads in part. While we do not share personnel information publicly, we can confirm that our workforce, like others, is not immune to the human impacts of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Now, they have that full statement online for you right now on the WDSU mobile app. But for now, reporting live in Lakeview, Harrison Golden, WDSU News.
It was actually probably a lot easier than what I thought it would be.
Not quite what you'd expect to hear from someone who kept his New Year's resolution, especially one like this. Craig Parton spent his New Year's Eve day running his 365th 10K in as many days. And he brought some friends.
In the beginning, I kind of pitched the idea to a couple people, and they're like, no, that sounds nuts. I don't think you can do that, or I know I wouldn't want to do that.
Oh, and one more thing. He did most of that running this year wearing flip-flops.
Because I was having some trouble with my Achilles, and so I started running barefoot, but running barefoot is sort of dangerous in the streets of New Orleans.
So flip-flops it was, and all for a mission. Parton ran his 10K a day challenge as a fundraiser for the Special Olympics.
It's great that somebody wants to take the time out of their day, every day, for an entire year to do something for us, for our athletes.
The money will cover travel expenses, so Louisiana's more than 50 Special Olympics athletes can compete in the USA Games in Orlando this June.
And so in this case, it was nice to be able to help them out so they didn't have that burden on themselves.
Just very excited for next year.
Perfect, my Olympian right here.
And at Parton's final turn on his final run, a crew of future Special Olympians ran right beside him.
That's a hard thing to do.
I think what he's doing is pretty cool.
Like, that's the way competition should be. You should be pushing yourself to do your best, but you also need to take joy in the accomplishments of others, and that's what I think is so cool about the Special Olympics athletes. Like, they have it, they understand it, and they do it the right way.